Welcome to class, another episode of Ask the Teacher. Like always, we tackle questions from 3 points of view: scriptural truth, acceptable societal norms, and common sense. Today, we're looking at a question from one of our viewers, and the question is, I just broke up with my ex, and I'm falling in love with his friend. Is this right? Wow. Well. This is a person who has just moved from one relationship and wants to jump into another relationship. Those kinds of relationships are called relationships on the rebound. So you've hit something, you're bouncing back, and you're looking for someone or something to hold you. And anytime you find yourself coming from one relationship and wanting to move into another relationship, there are some questions you need to ask yourself. Number one, what void are you trying to fill? What void are you trying to fill? Number two, what happens when the void is finally resolved? And number three, are you actually done with that past relationship? Because when it comes to breaking a relationship, finishing a relationship, and you want to move on, there are some three things that are very important. That these things need to be in place as you look at your complete healing. I should say, if you are hurt, because people will hurt you, and people hurt you because they are human. People hurt you because they are dealing with their own issues. People hurt you because they have unresolved issues. And other people hurt you just intentionally to hurt you. And so when people hurt you, and you are breaking a relationship to go into another relationship, there are a few things that you need to consider. Number one, it is important that once you are done with one relationship, before jumping into the next one, resolve, heal, get over the past one. And usually I recommend, or I would rather say this, that number one, for you to be able to move from one relationship to the other, especially a relationship that hurt you, and I can almost say for free, there is no single relationship you walk away from that will not be hurting. Because you have invested time, you have invested emotions, sometimes you have invested resources. So one of the things you need to do before thinking about moving on is, number one, you need to forgive. The faster you forgive, the faster you can move on. Number two, once you forgive, ensure you close accounts. Stop leaving loose ends. Moving from one relationship to the other one without making sure that this other relationship, you have made it clear that it is over and you are done. Close accounts. Let them know it is over. And do not be the kind of a person who says it is over today and you are texting them again tomorrow morning. Until you've gotten to the place where you can get over them, it is not over. You are not resolved. So number one, you forgive them. Once you forgive them, then you can be able to talk to them and tell us, oh yeah, we are done. And then finally, you move on with your life. So before you can think of getting into another relationship about leaving your ex, you need to ask yourself, have you forgiven your ex? Is it resolved? Number two, have you communicated that it is over so that now you can move on? So don't just jump into a relationship because you have a void that you need to fill and this other relationship is over. Before you can jump into the next relationship, ask yourself, what void are you trying to fill? Because if you are looking for somebody, if the person you're broken with was either giving you money or emotional support or was paying your rent, and that is the void you want to fill, you will get into another relationship for the wrong reason. Number 2, what will happen if that void gets filled? What happens if you're learning to somebody else so that they can fund your lifestyle? What happens when you can finally be able to fund your own lifestyle? Will they still be people that are important in your life? But more importantly, what do you want with your life? Do you want to keep hurting people? Do you want to keep jumping in and out of relationships? For all it matters, avoid getting into another relationship until you are resolved from your last relationship. Because if you do, go into a relationship with your emotional baggage, you will be hurting and you will hurt another person. Resolve first before moving on. That's what the teacher has to say.